am here with senior James Allen. James, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well, actually.
Good. James, will you just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, telling everybody what you do, what's going on in your life, and just let the people know who you are and what you're all about.
All right, well, I'm James Core Allen. I was born in Iowa, but moved here when I was 6, so I've gone through, or I was in kindergarten in Sydney, and I've just basically grown up here. I really love music, not just even playing it, but just listening to music at home, kind of always wearing my headphones. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, which I think is a plus. I really like to play soccer, so it's kind of a bummer that it was canceled this year, but I guess I got to play it a lot growing up too. And after high school is done, I plan to go on a mission somewhere foreign. Hopefully, get to see some new stuff, get some new life experience, and then go to college at BYU in Idaho. My parents are Lorraine Allen and Brett Allen. I have one older brother. His name is Carson. He also went to school here, and he just got back from his mission in Madagascar. I have a little sister, Anna. She is currently a freshman. And then I got a little brother named Brian. He goes to, I think it's the Baptist school right across from the middle school.
Throughout high school, who has been the most influential people that you have come across, or people who you feel like were the most helpful to you, or anybody that you just would want to give a shout out to in this video?
I'd say when it comes to the whole time throughout high school, the two biggest teachers have probably been Mr. McDonald and then Miss Suntz. Mr. McDonald, I do want to go into science, and he has a lot of experience in that area, as well as being tough but fair and kind of giving you a sense of the real world. And then most of my fun memories come from band. That's kind of what I've done in all my spare time. And then Miss Sun has been a great teacher and just a great motivation. But then this last senior year, Mr. Fallber has also been a great teacher, as I have learned a whole lot concerning the government and how it works. And just the way he teaches, I think, is good.
Throughout high school, what do you think has been your greatest accomplishment? It can be band related or not. What has been the greatest accomplishment that you have had throughout high school?
Well, I'd say when it comes to band, the fact that I've just had the opportunity to go to state every single time. I haven't been able to go to state with my own solo every single time because I was not the best at practicing. But I still got to go to state, and it was still tons of fun. And I feel like I was still able to contribute to the group. This last senior year during robotics, I was able to be a major part of designing a robot that was able to work pretty well. We didn't do as well as some of the other teams, but for being able to restart the robotics, I was kind of proud what I was able to help design and help build.
All right, we're gonna really go back in time. Okay, I'm gonna take you back into your first experiences with music. How did you get started in music would be the first question. And then when it came time to choose what group you wanted to be in middle school, how did you make the choices that you made? How did you know you were going to be in band? How did you know you were going to play trumpet? Was it something you always wanted to do? And what really pushed you to join?
Well, just growing up, my mom actually made me take piano lessons. I think I started when I first got here. I had a piano teacher, Mrs. Karen, that lived out in Crane, so every day after school we'd drive out to Crane, and I did that for a whole 6 years. I actually did not like practicing, that's probably where that started, but I was really good at it. I actually wanted to be a percussionist, but I did not want to be in the same section that Carson was in. So that is the whole reason I did not choose percussion. But if Carson was not a percussionist, I would have been a percussionist. Sometimes siblings follow each other. That was not me. I have no idea why I chose trumpet, actually. It was probably an on-the-spur moment thing. I might have been just listening to a song on the way over and heard a trumpet have a little solo. I might have chosen it. I have no idea why I chose the trumpet. But I did, and I'm glad that I did.
What accomplishments and honors have you received throughout high school when it comes to band and trumpet playing?
I don't know how many certificates I've actually been awarded. I'm not quite sure. I know for the majority, the band always does really well, and I feel like I play a part in that. But when it comes to more specialized groups like the jazz band, I usually end up having solos. And the ones that are either written down or that are improvised, I feel that I usually when it comes to the actual concerts that I do a good job. Anytime we go to an honor band, such as the ones that happen in Glendive or the ones that we have in other places, I always end up getting complimented by the directors, or I usually get to know the conductors as they point me out, or they always give me the solos. It was the one that I got this last time at Glendive. Well, there's honor mass band that the whole Cindy band goes to, and I've always been selected for the honor band. Even freshman year, I was able to get second trumpet, and then I was first every single time after that. Then there's a more specialized honor band that the directors have to select students, and I've always been able to go to that. I was able to go to Minot this last year as a second trumpet. I almost got first trumpet. It was a really fun time. The music was challenging, and the directors there were really good. The Minot one was really, really well done.
Throughout high school, what would you say has been the most memorable performance?
I would say this last concert that we had at Glendive, actually. I was able to get first chair and first part when it came to the trumpet section. I got a solo in Guardians of the Galaxy, which was super fun. I got to mess around with Mason the entire time. He's a good friend that lives in Fairview, and it was just fun to see him again. So I guess the atmosphere in general was really well. But I think when it came to the harder songs that were like a challenge and achievement to do well, probably the concert that happened at Minot, as that music was a little more challenging and a lot more musical.
Talking outside of performances, what has been your favorite memory in high school band? If you were to say in 10 years from now, reflect on what band was for you and what it was like, what would be that one memory that pops into your mind that reminds you of band?
I mean, when it comes to me, there's a lot of memories, but I'd say just anytime we go to the basketball divisionals, there's always a lot of stuff that happens. At the hotels, we always play card games or mess around. And depending who you get in your room, you also have a lot of fun. In the room, this last time, it was me, Jeremiah, Brandon, and Sean, and that was really, really fun. We did a lot of dumb stuff. I'd also say the one time we stole a stand from Glendive, that was also pretty memorable, and I don't exactly regret that one. And then also going to Minot. Minot was a really fun time, as everyone there was also very musical, and they wanted to be there.
What advice would you give students who are currently in band, or students who are coming into band, into high school band, or students who are maybe in elementary school that are in a position where they're going to start thinking about being in band?
Okay, kind of one, this applies to kind of all of my favorite high school memories are actually tied to band. I don't know if anyone considers that to be sad, but I think it's great. Basically, kind of met all my friends in band, and like every fun activity outside of school, like any extracurricular activity, all the funnest ones have been related to band. Doing jazz band, drumline. I mean, it's extra work, but it's definitely worth it. You guys get to travel to places that you don't usually get to go in any other scenario. The sports teams don't get to travel everywhere that the high school band does, so it even gives you new, different opportunities. And for those that are in band, I just say practice, as some might need to practice more than others. Some, if you do more activities or you're trying to do harder pieces, then you might need to practice more. I didn't always need to practice when it came to certain things, but just kind of know how much you need to practice and then don't try to skip out on it. Just try to find ways to motivate yourself. That was probably the hardest thing for me when it came to practicing.
Ever since you've been in middle school, you've kind of always had the same personality, and that's not a bad thing. It's so funny that you're like, I don't know why I chose the trumpet, because you are a trumpet player in and out. But I think what's most important is that you have always been a very strong musician and a very valuable voice in the band. It's going to be very hard next year not to have you around, because you've been a lead melody voice for so long, to a point where other teachers have heard you play and have tried to get you to play softer, and you won't. And that's okay. And most of the time I didn't want, here's the reality. There are some times I wanted you to play softer, but most of the time I wanted the rest of the band to be at your level. And that's me saying in a way that, not to boost your ego, but to say anytime I maybe gave you a hard time about volume, most of the time it was to try and encourage other members to be there and be where you were at, because you always had, again, a very present voice. But I think a lot of people really look up to you. I think a lot of underclassmen look up to you. I do think that your leadership this year has just really taken off, and you've done an excellent job in every aspect of your learning, and I congratulate you, and I wish you the best of luck after high school, James.
Well, thanks for that.